Welcome to Hub. Thank you so much for being here today, for connecting in this way. I think every week I just find myself more and more excited about the thought that people are coming together and that church is not a one-way stream of content. It is a dialogue, it's community, it's connection. And so thank you for continuing to be Vivid Church. We're not a social group, we are relational. We're in each other's lives, up close and personal, and Hub is just one of the greatest ways we can do that. So before I go any further, could you just thank your Hub leader for facilitating this gathering? You say, well, they just opened up Zoom. Guess what? They've been praying for you this week. They've been planning for this moment this week. That you're on their hearts, you're on their minds. And so would you thank them for making this a priority? It's great to be here. And I think there's probably someone in your life that you could bring along with it. Oh man, we got a police car coming by here. There's someone in your life that you could bring along on this journey with you. And so I want to challenge you this year, let's not just maintain, let's grow. Let's keep going forward and include family members, friends. The greatest part about doing Hubs virtually is literally the whole world is within our target audience now. You can invite people from any other time, any other place. And I want to challenge you as well. There's some of you in the Hub right now that God is speaking to you about being part of leading, speaking to you about being part of the team and helping that thing grow. Don't be shy about that. Don't be timid about that. Let us know. Let your Hub leader know. We want to help you and position you to be an incredible influence this year. All good? Okay. Hey, how big has this week been? Yeah, Sunday when we announced Vivid Toronto, and right now sounds like, hold up, what? Now we know who didn't come to church on Sunday. Okay, we're excited. Vivid Toronto, if you didn't hear about it, yeah, we are launching a location in Toronto. Pastor Aaron and Dana Kerr have joined our team. They've got a group of people they're already leading, and we're working to develop and build culture and prepare to launch big when Ontario is reopened and when we're all through these COVID restrictions and lockdowns. We're excited that our family is growing, that church is extending, and God is working within us. That's a pretty great thing. And guess what? Today, again, if you weren't at church, you might not know this. Today, we launched our very first single. It's called Your Love. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, anywhere you find your digital music. Why don't you make sure before you even get off this Hub, if you guys haven't listened to it, stream it together, share your screen, do what you need to do. But get that on your phone, get that in your life, share it with some people. We want to be an encouragement to you. Well, I thought Pastor Aaron's message was awesome on Sunday. I'm excited to have more faces and more people on this team and more voices bringing forward the Word of God. And there's a few points that I thought would be really worth us just pausing on today and meditating on a little bit, discussing a little bit. I know maybe some of you, the discussion has just been all around like questions, okay, how's Toronto going to work? We'll get to that. We'll work on how it's going to feasibly work and the way our team will be structured. Some of you, you've been asking questions like, well, when's the next song coming out? Easy, let's enjoy this one first. But here's a couple questions that I think we could ponder about that message on Sunday that was really centered around prayer. Number one, I love the thought that he shared about like, do we have faith that lasts in the fall? Like, not the autumn, not the season that comes after summer and before winter, but do we have the type of faith that lasts even when we stumble, even when we fall, even when things don't go our way? Look at Peter in this story in Acts chapter 12. Peter, one of his very best friends, has just been killed for his faith, and the response of the city around him was excitement. So much so, like the people who killed his friend were encouraged, you're doing the right thing. And so they said, well, if we're going to get encouragement for killing James, let's go after Peter as well. This is like a really tense time in Peter's life. By the way, he had seen them kill his friend Jesus. He had seen them kill his friend James. And now he was next on the target, next on the list. And when he finds himself in prison, the Bible says he's praying, he falls asleep. I love that thought. He's not pacing the hallway. He's not fretting and worried. His faith sustained him through that fall. So let me ask you, do you have the type of faith that will last even when you fall? Maybe the best way that you could answer this would be sharing a time where you feel like you fell on your face, when things just didn't go your way. And was it faith that sustained you? Maybe right now it would be just getting really honest with the aspect of fear that exists in your life where you go, guess what? If this happened, I don't know if I have the faith. Now, the redemptive aspect to it is this, that God responds even to little faith. God responds even to weak faith, And God actually even responds to bad prayers. I mean it. Check it out. Look at this. Acts chapter 12. We mentioned this on Sunday, but Peter's in prison and God has a plan to set him free. And he actually sends an angel and it's crazy and miraculous. And I wonder in my life if I am so comfortable with the miraculous and the God ordained that I go, I don't know if this is a vision or an angel. That's what Peter says. But he's set free. All the while, there's a prayer meeting taking place. Check it out. Acts chapter 12. People have gathered to pray. And it says this. When dawn came on him, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John. He also called Mark, where many people were gathered and were praying. What were they praying for? Peter to be released. What were they praying for? For the very thing that God was already doing. Peter knocked at the outer entrance, and a servant named Rhoda came to answer the door. When she recognized Peter's voice, she was overjoyed. She ran back without even opening the door and exclaimed, "Peter is at the door." The response that she got for that was this: "You're out of your mind." When she kept insisting that it was so, they said, no, it must just be an angel. This is what it tells me, is they were praying prayers that didn't actually have that much faith. God, let Peter out of prison. And then Rhoda comes in, hey guys, sorry to interrupt the prayer meeting. God let Peter out of prison. They're like, don't be crazy. You're out of your mind. They were not even praying the strongest prayers. I don't know about you, sometimes I don't pray because I don't feel like I'm strong enough. I love seeing this example, the redemptive nature of this example, that they prayed even though they lacked some faith and God still answered. Even if you feel like your faith is small, guess what? You can begin to develop and exercise that faith by growing in faith. So I've posed the question, do you have a faith that will sustain you in the fall? If your answer is no, no problem. Just pray with the faith you do have right now. Bring those needs to God now and let's grow together from that place. Second thought he shared that I loved is that thought that when God delays, it doesn't mean he's denied. And for some right now, I want you to reimagine and re-engage in faith for a need that you've had in prayer that you stopped praying about because it hasn't happened. And you've taken the not yet as a no. You're like, well, it hasn't happened yet. I guess it's not going to. Would you bring that back together, share about it together, and let's stir one another's faith up? Because I do believe that God is not finished yet. Just because he's delayed in his response doesn't mean he has denied. Here's these people, they're praying all night long. And morning comes, and I wonder if one of them or two of them, or maybe all of them, because they didn't even believe Peter was actually there, if they were starting to lose faith because they didn't see Peter show up. Like, God set Peter free, and the night passed, and now it's daytime, and still no result. But that delay did not mean a denial from God. He still had a response. This is going to take some real honesty, maybe some real vulnerability to say, here's the thing I've been praying for that I just kind of gave up on. But I think I could breathe a little more faith back into it again. And why don't we help one another in that? The third thing, I love this, that Peter, when he realizes that he's set free, because here's what happens, right? He's in prison. He falls asleep. An angel appears to him and says, hey, come follow me. And they walk out of the prison together, like through bars, through walls. I don't know how it worked, but God like supernaturally delivers him while everyone else is asleep. He wakes up, comes to, and goes, oh, that wasn't a dream. I'm actually free. And what's the first thing he longs to do? He's like, I got to go get around the people. I got to share this story. It's amazing. God just worked on my behalf. I got to get around some people and tell them about it. I think like you could really, really safely put into this context. He goes, God's just done a miracle. I got to get to church. Isn't that cool? It's like, I got to go tell someone about this. So here's what I want us to do maybe as we close our hub today. Why don't we share with one another what God's done? Maybe like, it was just, something small, little. I woke up and realized God had changed some things. No, get around some people and share with some people. I will tell you this, Rhoda's faith got stronger that day. Everyone at that house, their faith got stronger that day. It says that it was the house of Mary, the mother of John, who was also called Mark. So like Mary, she grew in faith that day. Rhoda grew in faith that day. John Mark, he grew in faith that day. They all grew in faith. Why? Because the thing that they were praying for actually happened. And it could just be that someone in your hub has been praying for you and they don't even know that the answer to their prayer has already happened. So why don't we share right now some testimonies? I really believe that prayer or faith is grown in an atmosphere of testimony. So let's testify and strengthen one another's resolve that prayer is worth it. Do you have the type of faith for the fall? If not, let's just grow it. Let's get back up. Let's dust ourselves up and keep going. Do you feel like God has denied you? I don't know. I think it's probably just delayed. Let's bring that faith back forward again. And then lastly, what's that thing that God's done in your life that you've not yet articulated or shared with someone? Bring it up again. Maybe you say, well, it's an old healing. It's still a great healing. It's something that happened. It's just small. There's nothing small that God does on our behalf. All things are possible with him, and with God, nothing is impossible. So that means everything is miraculous. Let's bring that up together. And then right now, I told you, go listen to that song before the day is done, okay? Make that your commitment. Listen to it, share it around. It's going to be great. And let's keep on growing our faith for what God's going to do, not only here in Vancouver, but now in Toronto as well. Love you guys.